Welcome, friends. We're here to show you some oral language resources, and I am Trisha Satropa, a consultant with ARPDC. And
My name is Lana Lane, and I'm also with the ARPDC here in Alberta.
Et bonjour, moi c'est Marie-Lou Gamance et je suis aussi avec ARPDC en Alberta.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I will share my screen and I'll let Lana begin introducing these resources.
Thank you, Trisha. So like Trish said, we are here to show you some oral language resources that the ARPDC has been working on to share with you to support your work across the province. And so today we're going to show you one of many that we have started to put together, and we'll walk you through what that resource is going to look like. And hopefully it's something that can support your work as you're working with the students in Alberta. So slide number 1, here we go.
All right, so all the slides will start with a title slide that looks like this, and then
Here we go.
In the next one.
So how we've divided our slide decks for you, we've supported your work hopefully by looking at what we call the competencies. And sometimes when we're diving into our curriculum, these are pieces that are overlooked. But our goal throughout this work is that at the end of the day, our students in Alberta need to be critical thinkers. They need to be able to problem solve. They need to be able to manage their information. They need to be creative and innovative. They need to be able to communicate, and they need to be able to collaborate, as well as focus on that cultural and global citizenship piece, and also the personal growth and well-being. So the slide deck that you're viewing today is one of the communication. So the focus on our competency is communication. You'll dive into this deck and you'll notice that there's going to be a teacher resource. And so if you click on the teacher resource, you're going to find this piece, which is going to help you with the descriptor of the communication competency and what Alberta students need to be doing. So if you look right in the middle of the page on the left-hand side, the goal is that students will be able to express, listen, exchange, decode, clarify, and consider perspectives. The indicators that they are successful with that will be listed down below. And when you look to the right, this is your support. This is how do you as the teacher get students to communicate in your classroom. So what types of things should you be doing in your activities that are going to hit that communication competency? If you flip back to the slide deck, you're also going to see that there are student resources. So in that student resource piece, you're going to notice that we have cards, and this hits all of the competencies. And it shows what we actually want students to have some understanding on. So if we go all the way down, you're going to notice a card that would be your communication card. And these are printable cards. And these can be used as activities in your classroom for kids to understand the language around what communication involves. And if you go further down, you're going to notice the language that we want students to understand. So we want them to be able to share ideas, listening, clarifying, considering, and respecting. Not only show us that they can do those pieces, but understand what it is that they mean. So there could be games and activities that are done around this, and those will definitely be areas that you're hitting when you are doing your learning activities. So if we go back to the slide deck, you're going to have on the right-hand side here where it says Alberta Students Decode. So our specific activity that is listed in this slide deck will be hitting that decodable piece, which is students need to be able to decode and understand information. So if we go on to the next slide, you're going to now see how we dive into the curricular pieces. So when we talk oral language, what is the outcome we're looking for, depending on what grade level we're at? So the learning outcomes become important. So our organizing idea for this activity is oral language. We've already talked about the competencies, but now we want students to hit some of these outcomes. And if we dive further into the outcomes, you need to understand what that, next slide, please, Trish. What the Oh, it's not even the less. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. The complexity pieces are. So what's the continuum? What does the continuum look like in that outcome that we're looking for? So again, looking at your kindergarten through grade 6, here is your continuum. And because of the activity that we chose for a display today, there are going to be 2 continuums, one for the expressing idea and then one for the interpreting ideas. So you'll notice that these have been pulled from the curriculum to help in your understanding of the pieces that you're trying to get to in that oral language outcome.
Right. I think one of the great benefits of the activities that we've put together is that they would fit in any grade K to 6, and you would be able to just scale it up depending on your students.
Awesome. So when you get the slide deck too, and I guess you can go back, maybe go up a couple, Trish. I'm just looking at that lesson plan so that everybody will know you'll have a lesson plan as well. So in the activities that we've chosen, you will be given the lesson plan. So there'll be your materials, your objective, and the procedure that we need you to go through. And you'll be hitting the competencies that have been described here, as well as those outcomes from the curriculum that we've also described. How do we determine the success of the lesson that we've done? So we've also included the guide to success. And again, you'll see the 2 here, guide to success for the expressing ideas, as well as the guide to success for the interpreting ideas. So how do we know that we've succeeded with our students? This becomes the formative assessment piece. So if there are gaps in all of those things that we've been asking them to do, and we're not seeing the proficient levels that we'd like to see, this becomes the formative assessment piece for you. How do you make the shifts in your teaching so that we can now guide the learning of the students? So all of this success stuff guides your teaching. What is it that you have to tweak and change in the task that you're asking your students to do? Where are they in that proficient level? If they're not getting there, then we maybe need to make a shift in our teaching. How do the students make that self-reflection? So what's going well, what's not going well, and what's going well for you as the lesson proceeds? And again, that guidance, where do we need to go next? So there'll always be that guide to success that's included in the slide decks for all of the activities that we've chosen. So videos are coming. So that's our plan, is to, in that slide deck, based on the activities that we've chosen, you're going to have the curricular pieces, which are going to lay out the outcome. You're going to have the competencies that are going to lay out those competencies, and they're going to be very specific to the activities that you're choosing. You're going to have a lesson plan. You're going to have a video that will show you what that lesson could look like in your classroom. And then we've also included those guide to successful pieces. So where does your teaching go next based on what you're seeing? And of course, at the end of every slide deck, you'll have the resources and the references. So where can you go for further resources? The slide deck you viewed today is one of 6 in the oral language piece. And our goal is, hopefully throughout the remaining months here and into the new year, we will continue to build all of, I guess, these video resources for you based on the competencies as well as those curricular pieces which lay out our outcomes. So team, I don't know if there's anything you want to add before we say goodbye today.
I think there's just another piece that we'll show for our French immersion teachers and Francophone teachers. And so we'll just bring that up. And it's the exact same lesson. Now, some of the, you'll see the exact same lesson or activity. And we'll just go part way through up to there, because it's not a 100% finished as some of the others. Soon everything will be in French. I'd just like to go back to the competencies as well. And so when you click on these, you will be taken, it'll look like an English page. And I just want to bring to your attention that this is a beautiful resource that, that one will get changed to French. This will all be in French. I apologize for not getting that shifted. And so these are all normally in French. So I apologize.
Perfect.
But it is nice to have those activities in French and in English.
Yeah, so that you have the language, the vocabulary to use in the classroom. Thanks. that.
Well done.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone.